Hi everybody, Maria Roman. I am excited that I get to be here today and show you a little film, our reaction to a film that we did a long time ago. I'm here with Super Yahni Rose.
Hello. I'm super excited to react to this video. I've never seen it, so happy to be here. Let's get into it.
And the question is, are you willing to die to be a woman? That is the name of the film, Dying to Be a Woman. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's hit play.
To die or to?
No, not to die. To watch it. Okay, here we go.
I think about it every time before I lay down on a table.
How old were you here?
Oh my God, I was 18.
You're such a baby.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's see what
The
you
baby
said.
fat. It's the baby fat.
I just pray before I go in that I come out, better.
I don't say I regret. I think if I knew more information, I would have acted differently.
I was so high.
You looked gorgeous.
I was so high on pain pills. The interesting thing that I think that if you look at the video, Bambi came to see me at the hospital because I have been going in and out of the hospital. And during the whole interview, I have my sunglasses over my head. It is too funny, but God, okay, let's watch.
Yo sufro mucho con esto.
Oh my God.
Yo del VIH estoy.
You know, she actually passed away last year. I've known her, God, like since I came here in my early 20s. And she literally for the last 30 years has been rotting alive, where her flesh was open from knee to hip, like open wounds. She actually was Bambi's neighbor, and Bambi throughout the last 10 years has helped her, taking her food and so on. But she literally suffers so much from the stuff.
Seizures.
Yeah, because she had mineral
Silicone.
oil. I think it was mineral oil and mixed with other stuff, and it was horrible.
Wow.
Siento bien.
I do remember her.
Y partes de mi cuerpo me lo han chequeado, estoy bien. Pero esto es lo que me está matando.
Dying to be a woman. Wow. Interesting. I think what is interesting about this too is that, if I think about this time in the universe of my life, what was great about this is that Bambi was already thinking ahead because she came with this little flip camera that she had to the hospital to visit me. She's like, hey, do you think I can? And she was already thinking about the importance of telling our stories in video, to have that in her purse and think this is a moment to be captured in time. It's kind of brilliant, and it shows how she was thinking ahead of
true Bambi fashion.
Yeah.
Police determined that the woman died shortly after being injected in the buttocks with silicone in her hotel room on Saturday.
In Morris's case, Miami Gardens police say he injected the victim's buttocks with cement, mineral oil, and Fix-A-Flat.
Don't you wonder always when they say that? Because I think every time I see on the news that they show a case of a trans woman that has died from silicone, they always talk about cement.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I wonder what they mean by that.
Yeah, I believe that was going on a lot in Florida, in the South. The girls, there was this one woman who was notorious for pumping girls with cement. That was really huge.
And it's a liquid type of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, and I remember this story.
The incision with super glue.
Oh,
if we get something like silicone gel into those blood vessels, it can travel right to the lungs. Deaths have occurred as soon as 15 minutes after injections and as late as 2 days.
That's the same thing with the BBL. The same risk of it traveling through your bloodstream to your lungs is the same thing as a BBL, because when they're injecting something loose into your body, I mean, I'm not no doctor, right? But when they're injecting your body with something that's fluid like that, by mistake, they can inject it into your bloodstream and it could travel to through your lungs or your heart.
Know that.
Yeah, so it's kind of even though silicone also has its own set of risks, BBLs also are as risky.
Wow, did not know that.
2 days later.
anytime anybody says, why would anyone want to do this? I say,
my
it's not an issue of want to. It's an issue of you have to. You're either going to be dead on the inside or dead on the outside.
And one of the things that
oh my God, look at Babby.
They do, particularly male to female trans women, it's a silicone injection. And they do that to sort of like,
Isn't it interesting to see her so long ago? Like, right? It's just like a trip.
Blend in, if you will. We call it passing. So it's really like sort of like to blend in within society. Who did it?
A doctor.
A doctor? Where?
One in Tijuana and one out here.
Oh my God, I can't.
I don't think they were licensed doctors. Well, at least the lady who did my lower body. I don't think she was licensed.
Like, no one was licensed, first of all.
That is too funny.
No one was licensed at all. So.
Oh my God.
I think the motivation is like many, many other cosmetic procedures that people choose to do, which is to try and get their body to look like what they imagine
that's
they want their body to look like. And in the case of people who are
Leslie.
transgender, there's a lot of
Leslie was actually
there's a lot of negativity or
the
dysphoria.
First time I got my body done.
Oh really?
Yeah, and she kind of like, she gave me the vision. Yeah, because like I just wanted like a bunch of butt, and then she was like, women don't have butt, they have hips. So she made me get like my hips done first and everything, and like she held my hand because I was so scared. So yeah.
Are you crying from just laughing?
Yes. Oh my God.
Or you're emotional? Miss Leslie was the vision though, because I think once you see somebody like Leslie Monroy and you see her body, how could you not want that, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing for me, when I first came to LA at the age of early 20s, I was 21, I was 6'2", and then I saw all these beautiful Latina women that were 5'0" with all these hips, and I'm like, how am I ever gonna measure to that? So I would ask him what to do, and we taught each other through the school of what I've been through. Go to Juanita down the street, she will pump you, is this much. And I remember they would tell you in kind of baby size formula, you get this many little baby things for this much money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of negativity or dysphoria that they experience because their internal gender doesn't match their body. Part of their perception of how their body should look, particularly this is a phenomenon that we see in the trans women population, they perceive that their bodies need to be bigger in certain areas and smaller in other areas, so that would drive people.
I don't even think it's perceived. It's something that you want culturally. I think that if you come from a family of your women, there's women in our backgrounds that have certain bodies, and we want that, right? If you are able to kind of develop yourself into the woman you want to be this ultimate woman.
Yeah.
In that being the hippie and the breasts and all these things come with that.
Yeah. But I think we like set it off as a trend as far as making it like a cultural thing, like, well, us and maybe Nicki Minaj.
But I think trans were before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think even like she was probably inspired, like
influence,
we were everywhere on the ads and everything. And I think like that look, we wanted to emulate women, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's something that's sculpted and it's man-made, so it's gonna be a little bit more pow to it. And I think that's what like got the trend going, But then the strippers started doing it, then Instagram came out. So.
Because I think if they see us, they're like, how is it that this is a trans person? And it looks like, where did you get that?
Yeah.
So they're like, I want that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have it.
It's gonna cost you.
I feel like I'm young and that I should just enjoy life while I'm here now, and it's something that I want, and it's something that makes me feel better when I look at myself.
apariencias se miraban sexys, yo miraba sus cuerpos y me llamaba la atención. Porque yo también quería hacer un cambio.
She was in our fashion show last year.
Obviamente más femenina, sexy y más voluminosa.
So there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of comparison, and there's certainly a huge amount. It's almost an exaggerated version of what you would see in natal females, with the competition to look a certain way or appear a certain way that's considered desirable in the population.
Yo pensé, bueno, yo me empecé a inyectar porque yo miré que muchas personas estaban inyectándose el silicón y básicamente miraba los cuerpazos bien hechos y nunca nadie miraba que se quejaba. So, entonces yo decidí también por hacerlo, pero ya ahora que estoy viviendo.
That's the thing too. I don't think that a lot of us are really. I don't think I got the honest truth when I wouldn't have mattered, because I think I was so set on having the body that I think if they would have told me, girl, you could die, which they did, but I don't think that at that time we had all the information. Plus you had no access to doctors. Like I never went to a doctor for hormone until I was 45.
Something that I really wanted is something that I feel that needs to be enhanced.
Oh my God.
That
That is so crazy to me. Oh my God. That's literally, it hadn't even been like 3 months of me being like transitioning.
Wow.
And like, that was my first ball ever. Like literally ever. And I just like started hormones and everything. And that was before the work. So you can see why I wanted to get the work done.
You look beautiful, but I think we all have this vision of where when we look at ourselves in the mirrors, we create sort of this vision of how we want to look.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes for me was that I always saw my previous selves always kind of looking back at me, and I wanted to kind of erase that for me.
Yeah.
And I think that it started with the first thing I can have access to with the money I had, because it was all at that time what I could afford.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And everybody else was doing it, and it was like, you know, when you did it, then you walked around, everybody else was like, you felt like you were part of that club.
You made more money.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of people that I know went to this doctor and I liked the outcome of it, so I felt that I could take the risk.
Although they may know of the potential consequences, they're still willing to go through this.
What's funny is actually me saying that I would take the risk, which is literally a crazy, quick little story. Like, so there was the lady who did me. I was told that she ran away because she faked her death because she had killed a couple people. But like the people who live, they have beautiful bodies that she had touched, and like there was like, you know, the girls would be like, you can never get a body by her again. That's this such and such's body. And then I had a friend who just popped up on the scene with this beautiful body, and I was like, give me the number. And she gave me the number, and when I went to go get done, and you know, I asked the lady her name, the lady says the name of the, you know, the missing woman, and I was like, and I was just like, I was so honored. Kill me.
Just a pump, just a little bit.
Just a pump, yeah.
Right away see the results, but they don't really think.
Wow.
And that's the thing, you go in with literally no ass, and you come out with a full ass.
Kim Kardashian.
Like, it's like you go in with nothing, and it's like instant, whatever it takes. And I remember sitting there for hours with all these needles on my hips and ass. Yeah. But then when you come out, you're like, it gives you a pep in your step.
Yeah, it really does.
Literally.
They right away see the
Miss
results.
Leslie. You can still see it's Miss Leslie.
But they don't really think about the complications of the future.
Wow.
I mean, if that's something that I
can't
can
believe she's
possibly
not
die
here with us.
of doing, then I'm okay with that.
So oftentimes in our community, what happens is that there may be an individual who pumps, or that's the term that we use, pumps or injects other transgender women. ¿Quién te puso el silicón fue un doctor o...?
No, fue en el mercado negro.
I love that she's asking like she's going to really get that answer that is a doctor.
Right.
Digamos, en un proceso de... Básicamente estaba arriesgando mi vida yo con esta persona, pero yo nunca tampoco me tomé el tiempo de investigar dónde podían hacerlo profesionalmente, que fuera legal, porque esto básicamente fue ilegal.
It's a small community and in some ways very tight-knit, that word of mouth gets around, so-and-so's doing this, and they're going this place to get it. And for example, a lot of times before young people seek hormone treatment under the care of a medical provider, they'll get hormones at a swap meet, or they'll get it somewhere else that's on the quote-unquote black market.
They go with the idea of that I can have a more beautiful, rounded.
Oh my God.
Is that you? Oh my God, that's your booty.
It's like the first round.
Oh my God.
Or I can augment and enhance the shape of my breast without spending thousands of dollars by just simple injection.
Tuve más confianza porque yo ya había visto que ella estaba inyectando a más personas y nada pasaba.
When you're going to people for silicone injections, you're not necessarily getting medical silicone, you're not necessarily getting any silicone. So that's one of the biggest dangers of it. Is it's not sure, you're not entirely guaranteed to be getting what you're signing up for.
Y miraban que si a ver qué era. Yo le decía que era el aceite mineral.
Cuando yo le pregunté cuáles podrían ser los posibles riesgos a futuro, ella me dijo que no había ningún riesgo, que no me preocupara.
I'm in the hospital and I am here with what they call cellulitis, which in reality is related to a silicone. And if you can see,
I have my glasses in my head. Oh, girl. You see that dot right there is from a previous time that I had cooking oil injected, and my whole entire cheeks and hips became red and inflamed, and I ended up in the emergency, and they had to cut me through that hole. You know how they inject you in all the different pockets?
Yeah.
They had to cut me through there to pop every pocket and drain everything. Oh, it was the most painful thing. And then I went back for more.
Oh my God.
It's crazy, the stuff that you do.
A sentir la reacción de esto, que se me regó todo en las partes donde se me abrieron, se me fueron abriendo y todo eso, y ya fui con el doctor.
At times, very often, also because of decreasing in circulation, they have ulcers or
oh my God.
Worse yet, necrosis, which means
she has literally been like that, like I tell you, for 30 years. Her entire leg was like that, like raw like that, since I can remember.
The reality is that it's not going to be a thing that lasts over a long time, and it's going to probably get worse looking over time.
Lo único que ellos sugieren es que cuando está la infección ahí, podamos recurrir nosotros a la sala de emergencias para combatir la infección en ese momento.
Imagine how many years was this shot? I don't even know. But since then, every couple years, I'm hospitalized for it because the same thing happens. Like my entire leg becomes black and infected, and they have to give me this intravenous antibiotics. And the funny thing is, I have the same thing. I don't know why I'm laughing. I have the same thing on my lips, and it doesn't happen to my face.
Wow, thank
God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Other than cutting big pieces of their flesh, which would probably result in more problem, nothing else can be done.
This is an issue that is not going anywhere, that is happening. And it's part of an individual getting competent health care.
I think definitively say there's absolutely no research in this area at all, and there really needs to be.
Education and prevention is probably the best treatment.
I think it's like something you don't really hear anymore. Like you don't really hear about people pumping silicone. It's not like back in this time when this video, we all knew it was happening, but it seems like it's a more even undercover.
Is that, do you think because the BBLs like came around?
Because I think people think they see somebody and they might think it's a BBL, but maybe in fact it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even cis women are walking around with this luscious asses, but maybe it's not a BBL.
Yeah.
We also need to bring awareness to those, again, medical schools, policymakers, people who have the power to really make a difference in our community.
Of course, as we start with these younger kids, younger and younger, if we are able to transition people at the correct time, which is really as puberty is starting, if we can put them through the puberty that matches their identity, hopefully the idea of needing silicone injections is going to go by the wayside over time, because we'll be able to get the body development that's better matching their identity from a young age. As our treatment models get better and better and more common and people are less afraid to treat transgender youth, I think we'll start seeing that patients are passing much earlier, they're going through puberty like they should have originally, and that body augmentation becomes kind of a thing of the past.
I just recommend that people don't do this, at all. And, take care of your body, because you have to. It's the only one you got.
I'm going to go get some more
after this call. God, to think of the struggle that we put ourselves through. I'm blessed, and I honestly think that I would not change my journey. I think that I had to do what I had to do at that time, because that's the best. That's what I knew then.
Yeah.
I would not say if I would get another chance to do it different. Would I do it different? I don't know, because everything made me, and I know it sounds kind of silly, but it did make me the person that I am. And although it wasn't the smartest idea, the body that I have now, I like. And even though I pay for a price for it constantly,
every 3 years or something.
I like the body. Would I like to have no ass? I don't know. But I think that there's new things that people could do that are safer, I guess, long term.
Did you know about BBLs back then? Because I didn't.
I don't think there was no BBLs then.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I
think I would have, maybe I could have not afford to do that anyway, right? Because I think for me, the silicone was what I could afford.
You could have.
I guess I would have found that way to collect a coin to pay for that BBL. But I just think people need to be informed. I'm going to, and I pay for my decisions, right? I think on a daily basis, I pay for the decisions that I've made, and I'm okay with that. But if the message could be, not that you don't do it, but that at least you're informed and you know the consequences that you might need to live with. And if you're okay with those, like you said in your video, if the consequences is dying, then that's what it is. But at that time, I was desperate for the world to see me as a woman. I felt, and I would have eaten dog poo if that would have made me the woman that I needed to be. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's desperation of living in a world that we're invisible, and I wanted to be seen for who I was, and I paid that price.
I mean, I feel like, whoa, like, it's one thing like to be here in this moment now, but like when you look back at yourself like that, it's kind of like, wow.
Is it really just 10 years? It seems longer.
I think it's a little bit more.
It's more than 10
It's
years,
a little bit more, yeah. Maybe like 14-ish.
Yeah.
Because I was 18 then. Well,
I'm
older now.
How do you?
I'm older than 28.
Oh, I'm older than 28 too.
How do you feel?
I feel, I think there's moments where I look at my journey and it brings me a little bit of the sadness I was feeling there, because even though I think at times I've been thought of as this beautiful person, I've been in really fortunate places, there was a feeling of sadness that I always carry with me.
Yeah.
And I think that something I always wanted was to be at a place where I could be at peace
Yeah.
And I think as I've gone older, I can sit in peace with myself, and that's something that took me a long time to get here. But I see how sad and how much I was struggling then. I remember what I was going through. I was still working, doing sex work. I was trying to find myself, you know, and it was hard. You know, that time was really hard. But I think that journey leads us to where I'm at today, you know? But it doesn't negate the pain and the challenges you have to live through. And while you're going through it, it feels like it's never gonna end.
Right.
How did you feel when if you can think back at that time where you were going through, how did you feel in that moment?
I mean, in that moment, I mean, then, like, I was 18. Everything was extreme to me. Like, I was always in the most extreme thing. So, I mean, like, as you can see, like, I was in the hallways dancing. I was ready to go make a coin. I was pretty happy. The future was looking great for me. Yeah. And, I was pretty happy. But at the same time, like, if I could think of, like, before, like, right before that and things I had to do to pay for that, and I kind of can relate to you. Like, I was going through so much internally. Like, I didn't even like looking in the mirror at myself, you know, and I wasn't even comfortable in my skin. And so, I was going through some things at that time. But like once I got it done, I was like super, super happy.
You know, I think that surgeries is the tool that I utilized to make the world see me as I felt I was inside, right? And I think I realized that for a long time I thought that the next surgery would give me acceptance and that people would accept me as a woman and I would accept me as the person I was. But I think after surgery, I've come to the term that no matter what I do to myself, no matter how I change my hair, how I look, the world is going to perceive me as I am. And that is a trans woman, that's my journey, right? There's no way for me to change that. But I think that surgeries allow me to be creative with myself, to become at times beautiful to the world, because there's moments in my life that I was perceived to be beautiful. And you know, I think it's a tool that we can all have access to. You look at celebrities, you know, they have access. It's all about resources. You can take the most, I guess if we're gonna use societal standards of what attractive and not attractive is, people can recreate themselves, and I use surgery as a way to reinvent myself and to shed light on who I was.
For me, I think that I definitely used it as a tool to kind of like, I mean, I feel like then I was doing like, trying to be pretty girl privilege before pretty girl privilege was a thing. Obviously, like you see, like, you know, you're standing out there in the corner and you see like your friends, they're making more money than you, they're hopping out and in and out of cars, they're traveling, affording all these things. So you want to be afforded like that privilege in life, you know, cut lines and, you know, get treated like a doll, and like that's what you wanted. So I think, definitely.
And that is a new term, dolls.
I know, right?
We're the dolls. I mean, I think that being beautiful, it's a social construct, right? We define beauty, and it's all in the person that is seeing you, right? Because I think I could be beautiful for some people and be the most grotesque, masculine thing for others. But at the end, it's about how the reflection that we see matches that what we think is beautiful to ourselves.
It's funny because like then I feel like I was dying to be a woman, and like within like my, you know, evolution, you know, getting older, I feel like now it's more so dying to survive, you know, like through patriarchy, you know, if you look this way, you look that way, you do get treated nicer. You just get treated differently, and it's like you know, because I still want surgeries. And I think in the back of my head, like now I don't question whether I'm a woman or not. Like those things aren't on my radar. It's more so, well, this is the door I want to get in. This is where I want to go. And unfortunately, that is where we is as a society. But I think like you can, like you said, use the tool if you have like a positive message to use. You know, like there's so much you can do with your beauty. So, yeah.
I think that honestly, if we think about 2024, there's this notion, because we see so many people in TV and we're everywhere, to be honest, that the situation for trans people is better. But that's really not the case. I think it's all relative to the individual, and depending where you live, where you're raised, who your parents are, what socioeconomic background you come from, your life could be horrible as a trans person. And the reality is I'm a trans woman. I am, you know, the second in command in one of the largest trans-led organizations in the United States, and I could possibly say the world. But when I leave here, this bubble that we've created of my job and the fact that we work around each other, I'm still a trans person, and people look at me crazy and people say horrible things to me at times, right? So I don't escape the fact that I'm trans. But what I can say is that I'm living authentically, that I'm comfortable in my own skin, that I can wear this really super light blonde wig and feel good and rock this really bright lipstick daytime with the glitter on top of it and feel comfortable. And that's really what it's about, right? About me feeling comfortable in the world that I have to navigate regardless. I don't have a choice. This is what it is. But I have a choice what I do with myself, how I live my life, and I choose to be complete and happy and focus on the positive and the people that care about me. And have a little Botox. I'm gonna be like Joan Rivers till I'm 90.
Yeah. I would say to my peers, just do your research. Me personally, I do feel like if I would have known about BBLs, that's probably what I would have done. Feel safer, so I could like research the person more. Not to say that there's no risk, but just, you know, there would be something that I could go, a reference that I could go to, rather than just laying on somebody's bed and just being told that this is what you're getting. So always just do your research, and everything has cause and action, you know, so just make sure our action cause, which one is it?
It's close.
Yeah. So just make sure if you're going to do something, make sure that you're willing to pay for it. Like, you know, no matter what. So.
Every action has a reaction.
Every action has, every cause causes a reaction.
Every consequence has So that is it for me and Yahni. I want to say that this is an ongoing celebration of 15 years of the Trans Latina Coalition. Please take this conversation and have it amongst your peers. Talk about what they're having done, why they're having it done. You know, it's important that we kind of have these open conversations about the effects of silicone and surgeries, because as we have more access, there could be more complications of things. So you have to really do your research, like Yahni said. Any parting message, Yahni, for the people watching this amazing video?
Yes, love you, take care of yourselves, and be sweet.
We have a lot more stuff coming this year, so stay tuned. Follow us, like this page, and share with your networks, and be safe out there.